Spider-Verse because that was a really, really weird game. It was the Edmonton Oilers, and coming off a 3-game stretch of playing very badly against teams who are not very good, this game, first home game, was kind of a toss-up as to whether they'd kick Edmonton ass like they've done the other 4 times they've played them this season, or if they do what they've been doing and playing down to teams that are bad. And Edmonton being one of the worst teams in the league despite having Connor McDavid, probably because that's really all they have. There were some good players tonight. Patrick Maroon that they stole from the Ducks. Disliked him by the end of the 3rd period, which him being an ex-Duck is not surprising. And it looked like 16 seconds in, they were going to do the first one. Because 16 seconds in, Tyler Toffoli scores. And it's a kind of an obvious goal in the sense that for 16 seconds, all the Kings had been doing was peppering the net. Which I know it doesn't sound like you can do a lot in 16 seconds, but within the first minute and a half, there were 8 shots on goal between the 2 teams, which is crazy. So anyway, Tyler Toffoli cleans up this rebound. He gets his first of 4 points tonight, and Milan Lucic gets his first assist of 3 assists tonight. Those guys were awesome. I loved that line. It was Lucic, Carter, and Tyler Toffoli, and they combined to do many, many great things on the ice tonight. It was gorgeous. The game had a great pace to begin with. We had scored first, and then suddenly, before I could even properly tweet my excitement about how well the Kings were playing, 22 seconds after that, they scored down the other end. It was so fast I actually missed it. But looking on the replays, it was definitely Jake Muzzin who lost his guy and let him go all the way to the front of Quick, who just didn't have that first save. I don't know. It was not any of our players' finest hour. So in that sense, it was a little bit of both. It was a game where we definitely beat the Oilers, but it was also a game where we did some things we really shouldn't have done. There were sloppy, weird things happening tonight. So that was the first one. 16 seconds in, then 22 seconds later. And then we go down the stretch of the first period, and there are a couple of penalties that get taken. McNabb, I hate you for that one. But nothing really happens on that. And then this happens. From this angle, at least from what I can tell, it looks like Lecavalier scored on his own man. Like, actually tried to put a puck in the back of the net behind Quick. Lori assures me that what actually happened is as he got to the net and was trying to get it behind and dig it out that way, he was tripped by Maroon, like I said, and you're gonna hate him by the end of this game, and it ended up past Quick. The goal officially went to Connor McDavid about 9.5 minutes in to the first period. But it was weird. It was a really weird play. And then 27 seconds after that, Jeff Carter scores, and suddenly we're 2-2, and we're tied again. I should also mention that this goal was almost waved off, or at least there was a coach's challenge on the goal. Luckily for the LA Kings, they deemed that the poor guy just fell down. And you see him here, I mean, desperately trying to do this awesome Jonathan Quick save, where he's like gonna maybe scissor kick it or do like the butterfly kick or whatever, and he's got his legs like jammed up on this side of the net, and oh, that's okay because Jeff Carter comes in on the other side where it's empty. So I actually kind of feel sorry for him on that play. He was really doing a lot, and he was not getting helped out by his defenseman. So that brings us to the beginning of the second period, which brings us to Tyler Toffoli's second goal of the evening. It's about 3 minutes into the second period, and it's this gorgeous wrist shot that he just places beautifully and gets past their goaltender. And for the first real time in the game, because 22 seconds doesn't really count, the Kings are like genuinely leading the game. As so they should be, because let's face it, this is Edmonton. I'm gonna regret saying that later because they came back. Anyway, so Tyler gets us on the board 3-2. And then his third point of the evening comes, well, it came a little after it should. Because the ref blew the whistle early. There was a huge scuffle at the LA Kings net. I'm sorry. The LA Kings had a huge scuffle at the Edmonton nets. And the puck goes in after this mad scramble and Tyler Toffoli puts it in. Only problem being they blew the whistle dead. Even though the puck was still in play. I guess they thought that the goaltender had it. He didn't, so that's not ruled a goal. On a play that happened like 3 minutes before, and it was the same like stretch of players because the Kings before that not Tyler Toffoli goal just had, I mean, like 2 or 3 minutes of zone time where they were just peppering the guy at the net, and so of course one was going to go in. But they then ruled on whether a shot at the other end had actually gone in, making all those 3 minutes of play completely useless. It never actually passed the goal line, so we're all good. We move on. Milan Lucic gets in a fight with Patrick Maroon, as so he should, because Maroon is the guy that basically almost ruined our lives tonight. He didn't. It's all good. Lucic definitely got the better end of that fight, even though you can't really see it from only the stretch of the video. He was awesome. So then we actually score a real goal. And it's almost exactly the same as the one that Tyler scored, except he gets the second assist on it, and it's Andreev that manages to finally get that puck past the goalie. So if you're looking at this one, this is exactly the same as the first one. Just a whole bunch of bodies at the net, and there's a mad scramble. You can't really tell what's going on. This time, the ref actually lets it play out, and Andreev does something I actually like him for. Good job! Woo! So that's 4-2. It becomes 5-2 by the end of the second period, and Kings fans are like, what? Yay, we totally got this. It's just one period. I should probably talk about that fifth goal, because not only was this a Trevor Lewis goal, which, hello, Trevor Lewis is scoring, woohoo! It's a short-handed goal, and this, guys, is what I'm telling you. It was a weird game. Trevor Lewis scored short-handed, and it was gorgeous, too. I mean, like, the patience of him to wait and wait and wait until the goaltender was just out of position, because he shoots that any time before, and, you know, that he rebounds, he either catches it, and we go to a face-off or ricochets off to one of the Edmonton guys, and they're back up the other end on their power play while Lewis is still stuck down here. But no, he waits and he makes sure the shot counts, and that's 5-2. And at this point, we're thoroughly embarrassing them, because 5-2 and a shorthanded by Trevor Lewis, come on, guys. So they repaid us by thoroughly embarrassing us in the third period. Started about 10 minutes in when Patrick Maroon got his first goal. And then with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left, he got his second goal. It was the first one that came on a Drew Doughty penalty. You know that's just never going to end well, and it almost was fine. Literally 2 seconds before the penalty is over is when Maroon scores that. You know, you're thinking 5-3, it's fine. It gets to 5-4. And there are 4 minutes left, and suddenly we're all going, oh god, this could be really bad, because the ice has been weird, like people are falling over left and right, and just everything about this game, except the fact that the Kings were winning, was weird. And suddenly at this point, it's looking like maybe they might not even be doing that. So what is happening? They pull their goalie with about 2 minutes left. Quick loses a stick for maybe 15 to 25 seconds of this essentially power play 6-on-5. And we're just like, it's Edmonton. This game should not be this stressful. And we were winning 5-2 at the beginning of the third. Seriously, I should not be out of my seat, like holding my hands like this, going, oh, should not be doing that at this game, and yet I did. And then finally, we make the play that gives us the empty net, and it's almost Tyler Toffoli getting a hat trick, and I actually predicted that when they scored their third. I was kind of thinking, oh, well, you know, maybe they'll pull their goalie, or maybe they'll score again and definitely pull their goalie. I may have willed it into being, guys, sorry, because I kind of wanted Toffoli to get his hat trick on the empty net. As it turns out, they kind of knew that Toffoli was on board for a hat trick, so he had too many players on him, and being the smart guy that he is and the very unselfish guy, he wants the Kings to win rather than get the hat trick, so he gets it out to Carter. Carter hits the empty net, and there's like a negligible amount of time left on the clock, so it doesn't matter. So the Kings win 6-4 with the stupid Ducks going into overtime after being down 3-1 at the beginning of the third period. Even halfway through the third period, they were still down 3-1. They come back and win up 4-3 in overtime. So with the Ducks winning, they are still within 3, but they have a game in hand, so really within 1, assuming that they win said game. The Kings really, really needed a win tonight to stay on top of their division. It should have been better. It should have been a much better win. They were slopping us all over the place. Our lack of defense was clearly evident. And it was, like I said, it was just a weird night of hockey. Probably many of these things never to be repeated. So enjoy the highlights tonight, guys, while you can. Next game is Monday. They're out of town against the San Jose Sharks, who lost to Dallas tonight, which divisionally is good for us because they are chomping on the heels of the Ducks. They're definitely going to be in second or third place, and we would kind of like them to be in third, I think. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's going to be Ducks and Sharks, hopefully, if we can manage to pull off a divisional win. However, it does mean that the Dallas Stars are still winning a lot, so conference winning-wise, we're not as close to Dallas as we were last week. Either way, the Sharks will be a big 4-point game coming Monday, so let's get ready to plug our ears when the Beat LA chant comes on. And just, you know, win a good hockey game, because nothing makes me happier than adding the "Can't Beat LA" to the front of their dumbass chant. I will see you guys then.